Well, what do we have here? Oh, hello there. Didn't see you come in. Welcome to Sawdust Talk. I will be your host this evening. I'm Mr. TJ from TJT Workshop. And look at all of the people showing up in the magic mirror today. I'm so glad you can join us. Good gracious. Look at this. We've got a great show coming to you tonight. I'm going to be filling in for Kyle this evening. We're going to have Ed from Mancini Woodworks, Bernie from Bernie's Build, and BA from Wobbly Arrow is going to be joining us today. Let me see if I can get some of these cool kids in. All right, BA is here. I'm going to press. Hey. Maybe. Greetings, sir. How are you today?
Salutations. How's it going?
I'm doing good. My audio sounds pretty good for you. Am I speaking too loud?
Sounds good to me.
Perfect. Okay, let me see if we can get some of these other knuckleheads in here. We got Ed in the house, and I believe Bernie is going to be joining us shortly. Greetings, Ed.
What up?
Excellent. Come on, Bernie. Maybe. He's here. Do I need to invite you, Bernie? Is that what you need? Or do you just want a request? Well, let's see if we can draw him in. Boop. Boop, boop. Well, this is going about as smooth as a cobblestone road. How about that?
Oh, someone's asking about your hat.
My hat?
Yeah, I guess they said, what's on your hat? All right.
It's one of my logo hats.
All right.
Excellent. Ha! There he is. The man, the myth, the legend.
The Bernie.
The Bernie. Maybe. Hey, there he is.
What's up, guys?
What a handsome fella. Glad we can all be here this evening. So now that all of the cool kids are here, I am going to formally welcome everybody to Sawdust Talk, brought to you by Scott over at George Supply Company. He is kicking buns, taking names, and making sure that so many people in the maker community can create, produce, and distribute swag and promotional products. Really cool guy. Really great to have him behind us this evening. I am TJT with TJT Workshop. I do a little bit of woodwork, a little bit of metalwork, and yeah, that's kind of what I do. Ed and Bernie, you want to introduce yourselves this evening?
Go for it, Ed, and I'll follow up with you.
I'm Ed with Mancini Woodworking, and I'm out of Louisville, Kentucky, and I am just getting ready to retire from the Army. I should be actually done everything next week, and I'll be on my terminal leave right into retirement, so I'll be a lazy woodworking fool. So I just do woodworking kind of as a hobby. I have a little Etsy store, and I'm just learning as I go.
Awesome. Well, much like Ed, I am also in the Army, and I actually just got back from a fun trip for the last week, and now I'm here to join you guys. So I'm not quite where Ed is. I'm at 17 years, but I'm located here in the great state of Washington in a little town called Ellensburg. Love doing woodworking, make tables, mess a little bit with epoxy, mostly work with walnut, which you see the giant stack of walnut right up there. So yeah, but I'm super stoked about this. It's going to be a great night, so go for it.
All right, BA. Now's your chance.
I'm BA. I'm a custom sign maker, woodworker. I focus on mostly scroll saw and CNC work at the moment. And I'm from just outside of Toronto in Ontario, Canada. And I'm actually a full-time police officer by day and a sign maker by night.
Nice.
Appreciate your service, brother. Appreciate it.
Same to you guys.
Excellent. Well, so I suppose we can start off with Wobbly Arrow design. I kind of want to know if there's a bit of a story behind what you got going on there. It's definitely unique. What's the word behind Wobbly Arrow?
Behind the name?
Yes, sir.
So the name came from, so my wife and I actually have tattoos on our arms. It's an arrow. We got them for our anniversary a few years ago, and basically it just signifies, going forward in life, right? An arrow only goes one direction, right? You're not going to shoot one backwards. So it's always going forward. And the kind of philosophy behind Wobbly Arrow is that you can, in your life, you set goals. Sometimes you always don't reach those goals, but like with archery, as long as you hit the target, go in that direction, sometimes that close enough is good enough, right? So that's kind of the philosophy behind the Wobbly Arrow brand.
Excellent.
Nice.
All right.
Kind of like MJ's quote, right? Like you miss, what is it? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kind of that.
Great quote.
Absolutely. So the way that the show is normally formatted is we'll sort of start taking turns and asking questions, and the beautiful people in the audience of this magic mirror that we're all sitting in front of here will probably start writing in comments, but because Ed and I are on the show, it might be a little bit sparse. So we're gonna sort of take turns going around, sort of seeing what happens. But why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got started? I kind of creeped through all of your Instagram today. I don't know if you saw me or Sawdust Talk liking and commenting, but it looks like your posts on Instagram go back to pretty early 2020. So why don't we start there, unless you want to tell us what was going on before then?
Yeah, so I guess before I got on Instagram, I was into woodworking, right? I had my wood shop, and when just kind of around that time frame, I actually kind of stumbled across the scroll saw. I never had one before, never used one before, and I just kind of came across and used one on Facebook Marketplace, and I thought, that'd be a nice addition to my shop. So I picked it up used, and the first sign I ever made was a gift for my wife. And it just kind of spiraled from there. When I was a teenager, I was really into art. Like I was an art student all through high school. I went to an art summer camp. I was a big nerd like that. And so I was always very artistic, into design. And then I graduated high school. I went to university, and I kind of shut off the artistic side of my brain. And it kind of, I guess, it lay dormant for 15 years or so. And then as soon as I found that scroll saw and I started using it, I guess it reignited my passion for art and for design, and sign making just kind of combined my love of art and my love of woodworking, and it's kind of the perfect combination for me, and my business has grown from there.
Nice. I totally picture this art camp of a bunch of I don't know, I'm assuming a high school time frame maybe.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming I picture all these people walking around with these French artist hats, little palettes in their hand, walking around
Not quite. Even though I'm Canadian, I don't speak French, so yeah, not quite the palette and the beret, but yeah, no, it was definitely an artsy environment, that's for sure.
That's awesome.
It was also I went to high school during the time that American Pie came out. So, the band camp thing. So I took a lot of jokes for art camp at that time.
I'm sure.
That's awesome.
While we're on that, how do you feel like that experience has helped you throughout your journey in woodworking?
So I think my artistic background, a lot of color theory and design and stuff like that kind of plays into my woodworking and my sign making. So having that basis and that art history knowledge was a big help, I think.
Because I'm not artistic at all, at all,
All right, man. So when I found you about, geez, in about 3 or 4 months ago, just scrolling through reels, and some of your funny reels, like the one where you had your new miter saw that was a tax write-off, or
Yeah.
some of your other funny stuff. Where do you get the ideas for these, man? Because, I mean, I keep coming back to your channel just because of those. They're great. They're great, funny, and relevant to most of us as woodworkers and small business owners.
Honestly, I wish I could answer that with a straight answer.
Yeah.
I kind of scroll through Instagram looking for ideas for reels, and I hear an audio, and usually the concept for a reel is fully formed in my head as soon as I hear the audio, and I save it for later, and it goes from there.
Yeah. I assume that's what's helped you grow so much. I mean, you've just been flying off the charts on new followers and likes on your reels. I mean, it's super impressive, dude. And I keep coming back to you almost daily just for a laugh. So
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, you know, it's definitely exploded the last 6 months, I guess. It was definitely a slow grind when I first started, and then the reels really kind of sparked the growth. And it's developed into it's an intentional strategy for me, right? The more, unfortunately with Instagram, photo posts just don't do as well as they used to, right?
yeah.
I think everyone can agree with that, right? Like you just don't get the traction from photos alone. So reels are a necessity in this platform now. And I use those goofy, stupid reels to put eyes on my page, right? And the more eyes on my page, the more orders it turns into, right? So it's definitely a marketing strategy for me.
All right. To, I guess, add on to that, have you seen those reels turn into like business or customers?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Probably 90% of my orders come through Instagram. The other 10 come from the local community and Facebook. But yeah, so for sure, it's what fuels my my business right now. So that's why I keep doing it.
Wow, that's impressive, dude.
Yeah.
All right, so
I'd like to keep growing my local community because it's definitely easier without the shipping, right? But I always find it wild that people from all over North America want to order signs from me, right? Like I just shipped one to California last week, one to New Hampshire. I have one going to the west coast of Canada this week, and yeah, like it's all over North America. It's pretty wild.
That's awesome.
Really cool. So, there are certain elements of design and layout that go into the sign making process. Do you also develop the graphics for your clientele before it gets cut into the wood, or do they normally deliver you a logo that you then transcribe into the piece?
Both. It goes both ways. Recently I've done a lot of logo work, which I really enjoy. I really like doing the small business logos. And some of them have logos already designed, and they just basically say, can you turn my logo into a 3D sign? And I'm happy to oblige. Other ones have more, give me more free range to kind of put my stamp on it. And that's really what I probably want to kind of focus on over the next rest of the year, 6 months, is having that creative freedom to add my own twist to things.
Very cool. And then sort of follow up to a procedure/process question. You mentioned that once you got your hands on a scroll saw, you spiraled. And this question is, are you a spiral bit user or are you a straight bit user?
I see what you did there. No, I'm a straight bit user.
Good deal. Okay.
That's funny.
That's good. Ed, what you got going on?
So I noticed that you have a CNC, right?
Yep.
Which did you get first, the CNC or the scroll saw?
Scroll saw.
Okay.
Yeah, I started with a 16-inch Craftsman used one. That's the one I found that I was mentioning on Marketplace. I used that for probably the first 4 months, and then I had some issues with it, and I decided to upgrade to the DeWalt.
Gotcha.
And I've been using that ever since. And then I added the CNC at the beginning of this year.
So with you getting the CNC now, how do you see that changing your business, and how, like, do you find yourself doing things a little bit less by hand with the scroll saw, or do you see kind of an extra set of hands in the shop working for you?
Yeah, it's kind of both. It depends on the piece. Like some pieces I can just cut by hand faster, depending what it is. The CNC, it is definitely an extra set of hands, but it doesn't speed things up in the sense that you still have to do the design in the background and create the G code to tell the machine what to do, right? So
Right.
it saves time in the sense that repeatability, so certain signs and certain designs, once it's designed, I can cut them a million times, right? Just run it through the CNC. But initially, to create that design, the work is still the same.
Gotcha.
Nice, man. Well, it looks like we have a couple questions rolling in. I'll jump into some of those and just start down the list, and I'll turn it back over. So we got Tech Dog Woodworks is asking, do you have a preferred shipper that you use? I mean, since you're shipping internationally, I'm sure a lot of small business want to know who you use and why you use them.
Yeah, so I use ShipNerd. ShipNerd's great. They basically give volume discounts, basically. That's how their pricing works, I guess. So being Canadian, if I were to use Canada Post to send my signs, it would be like the shipping cost would be astronomical. But ShipNerd uses, I think it's mostly UPS to ship from Canada to the States, and within Canada we use a shipping company called Canpar. So basically they use those the volume discounts for sending a bunch of pieces through them, and that's how I save on shipping, and I pass that saving on to my customers, obviously.
Nice. That's a good idea. I've actually never heard of that company. I'll check them out.
Yeah. All the cool kids are advertising the pirate ship these days, and I don't know if you guys have ever interacted with them. I haven't had to do anything like that.
That's what I've been using is pirate ship. I really like it a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's the same concept, I think.
I've tied my Etsy into my pirate ship too. So whenever an order comes in through Etsy, I could just go into my pirate ship and click on my Etsy account, and it'll pull up all the orders that are waiting on shipping.
Wow.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Very cool. Okay, Tech Dog sort of has another procedure question, and this one's going to be turned into a two-parter by me. I do see in your work there is a lot of painted bits and pieces, right? Sign work is like that. If you had your druthers, so to speak, as in I'd rather use this or I'd rather do that, would you be working with a wood product that is like a composite or a laminate or a solid wood, or are you sort of an MDF, especially if it's going to get painted kind of guy?
If it's going to get painted, I use MDF probably 95% of the time. It's easy to work with, consistent results, stable, right? It's great for sign work.
Very cool. And then Tech Dog's question is, what is your favorite paint to use? And then how about a sealer that you like?
So I use Molotov from Bombing Signs. That's awesome. the majority of the colors I use. I do use some Rust-Oleum paints for like the blacks and whites. They're matte finishes. I really like. And yeah, so a lot of sign makers are using graffiti paint now. MTN 94 and Montana Colors and stuff like that. They're the other big ones. But I use Molotov from Bombing Signs. It's paint the formula is designed for graffiti artists. It's kind of a low volume spray, so it's really easy to control compared to like a Rust-Oleum 2X, which is high pressure, and it's bulletproof basically for making signs.
Nice.
So you ever experiment with the different tips and caps to play with spray patterns and stuff like that?
Not really. A couple of them, but I just kind of stick to the regular caps because of the type of work I do, right? That makes a bigger difference for graffiti artists when you're painting walls, right, and doing huge murals. But when you're just, painting a piece all one solid color, for the most part, you just need the one tip.
Very cool. Yeah, I don't know if you have access to Art Primo. Again, I think they're U.S. based, but they're another sort of graffiti supplies and paint supplier that I've used in the past for a previous lifestyle that we don't need to discuss on this website. But yeah, once upon a time in a land long, long ago during art school. But yeah, Art Primo is really cool stuff too.
Nice.
That's like a whole new world that I don't even know anything about. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so and we can sort of wax poetic about this if you want, but like one of the big benefits of graffiti paints from Montana or Molotov is that they are indelible. They are hard to buff. They are designed to be exposed to the weather. And in the sign making industry, man, you've got stuff that's going to be outside, rained on. Who knows? Hobos could be throwing rocks at it. I mean, like I don't know what the fate of it's going to be, but it's a really really tough product. And I don't know. Is there any other merit to it that you can think of?
Yeah, I think that pretty sums it up pretty well, right? Like I said, I kind of describe it as bulletproof. It's the best there is for sign making, I think, right now at least. I've tried a bunch of different products and nothing's topped it at this point. It's a learning curve. It's a learning curve when you're like, I started off using mostly Rust-Oleum stuff, and it's basically the way it sprays is a learning curve. But once you figured it out, it's so much better.
Nice.
Very cool. It looks like Ed is buffering down there.
Yeah,
Sure does.
the wheel of death.
So I'm gonna throw up we're gonna give you a softball here from Woolly Pedals, also up in Canada.
Same.
And she said, she says, come on, there we go.
There we go.
Is it snowing in BA land?
I hope not. We're past snow. Sam lives in more of the freezing cold area of the country than I do, but yeah, I hate snow.
Yeah.
I feel like you're kind of living in the wrong place to hate snow.
I'm a terrible Canadian. I hate snow.
Dude, I'm with you. I mean, I live in Washington State, and I'm right up next to the Canadian border. And I mean, we got like 6 inches of snow in April, and I'm so sick and tired of it. I like it once in the fall or in the early winter, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So.
All right, I think that Ed is going to try and restart and come back in here in a minute. How about better than okay?
All right.
Bernie, what you got?
So what do you use for a mask or / ventilation when spray painting? Do you just have like a standard 3M mask, or do you have, I mean, some people have the full-on spray painting hood that they sent up, or the pop-up tent. What do you prefer to use, or what have you used?
Yeah, so for mask, I wear a 3M ventilator.
Yeah.
And actually, it's over here. I did a reel about this recently.
Oh, nice.
I just awesome case from Ergodyne. It's actually designed to hold the ventilator.
Dude, that's awesome, because I mean, I use a freaking plastic Ziploc bag, but that looks great.
Yeah, so what's so good about it is before this, I would always like leave my mask around and it would get covered in sawdust and disgusting, right?
Yeah.
And now I know where it is all the time if I remember to put it in the bag when I'm done, but
yeah,
it's awesome. And then when it's not snowing and it's not winter in Canada, I do paint outside quite a bit. But if during the winter when it's cold out, I do have a pop-up shelter that I pop up in my garage and paint there to kind of keep everything contained.
Nice.
Okay, so I have another follow-up on there is that especially working with MDF, scroll work is some dusty stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How are you mitigating dust and paint? Do you just separate them by a day? Do you use a dust collection system other than a shop vac? What you got going on?
All of the above.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Good answer.
It's a huge challenge, right? Like dust control is a struggle all the time, right? So I have my shop vac, I have wall mounted dust collector there, and I also have a Wen air filtration system in the roof as well. But it's always a challenge, right? Like I open up my shop doors and I use a leaf blower to blow it out as regularly as possible. But for sure, if I've been cutting or sanding, it's super hard to paint at the same time.
Yeah.
Priming's not such a big deal because I'm going to sand it again afterwards anyways. But final coat, you kind of need to let things settle down a little bit or go outside.
Gotcha. Hey, Ed, you want to jump on this Tech Dogs question?
Yeah. So Tech Dog Woodworks was asking, how did you learn your CNC? Was it through YouTube University? And then on top of that, like, what is the name of the CNC that you decided to go with, and how did you come to that conclusion? Like, because there's so many different ones out there. So, like, how did you come to what you have?
So I guess the first part of that question is yes, YouTube University was a big help.
Me too.
Yeah, I think it's for most things I do in life, I turn to YouTube University for my education. But yes, and also just trial and error, right? Like I get when I start something new, I tend to get super hyper focused on things. So I just dive into it head first and I try to absorb as much as I can. That's definitely what I did with my CNC. I'm still learning. I'm still learning software and trying different things. But yeah, it's just a learning process. The more you do it, the more you get better at it, right? My CNC is it's a long mill 3030 by CNC Labs. So they're a Canadian company.
Okay.
So they're actually, I'm pretty sure. So the Onefinity is another huge,
That's what I
hobbyist
have.
CNC. Yeah. So the Onefinity, also a Canadian company, and the Long Mill, they're actually from the same like town. Like they're from a very big tech town, just kind of northwest of Toronto, and it's actually with the hub where BlackBerry was for the longest time. So
Nice.
I find it kind of interesting. It's a big engineering school there too. So I think it's kind of interesting that they both came out of that area. I'm sure that's probably why.
Now, why?
All right, Bernie,
why did you go with
let's
that
do
one
a
over
Red
the
Barn
Onefinity?
question.
All right. Oh, what was that?
Hey,
Ed?
Sorry, what were you saying, Ed? I didn't mean to cut you off, bud.
Oh, sorry. No. So why did you decide to go with that one over like the Onefinity or the X-Carve or the whatever else, Shapeoko or whatever they have in Canada?
So ultimately availability. At the time I was looking for it, the Onefinity was like sold out and back ordered. And this one was available, and I looked into it, and the reviews were great, but it's definitely more like the assembly of it was a lot more hands-on than I've seen of the Onefinity. The Onefinity seems like, you take it out of the box and 15 minutes later you can cut something. This is more
Legit.
of a process to
Like
assemble.
within 30 minutes, I think I was ready to cut something when I pulled mine out of the box. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, we'll ask a question from Red Barn DIY. So when you design, do you find yourself creating it digitally or by hand? And if you could, just describe your process.
Yeah, so I guess now more digitally than anything. I guess I've kind of shifted that way, especially with the CNC. One of the big tools I use for like basic design and like more simple concepts is I use Canva. Canva's a great resource. I think for sign makers, there's a lot of fonts there. There's a lot of design pieces, and it's pretty easy to lay out something pretty quickly.
That is excellent. Ed, you get the follow-up.
Hold on. I want to make sure I answer some of these questions. Okay, so Stelefi? So she asked, what's your next tool purchase? Or on the other side of that, what would be like your dream tool purchase?
I guess my dream isn't a tool purchase. My dream is actually a bigger shop, I think would be my ultimate dream. I think probably most of us probably in the same boat, right?
Yeah.
That's everybody's dream, man.
Exactly, right? And then that would come with a lot more tool purchases. But the next major tool I want to add to my sign making arsenal is a laser. I don't have a laser. And I think the CNC and the laser can complement each other very well. So I do plan on adding one eventually.
Now, do you want to do like an independent laser, or do you want to add one to the CNC that you have as like an attachment?
Yep.
Independent.
Okay.
So,
and is this going to be for etching or its own CNC laser cutter?
Both, but more. I more want it for the ability, like the cutting capability.
So have you looked at lasers, a specific one you are thinking about, or are you just something in the future?
I've looked at a bunch of different ones, and I can't make up my mind. So I won't throw anything out there I will say I will get, because I keep changing my mind. So
Are you
Very-
thinking more of like more tabletop type of laser, or one like a cabinet, big, takes up big footprint type one?
More of a cabinet style, and I
Okay.
guess the size of it will depend on my limitations of my shop. But
Right.
Nice.
Sweet.
Very cool. Well, Kyle has sort of dropped in on us,
Oh,
and he's becoming, has always been quite avid about his new scroll purchase.
Yeah.
And so I think he's wondering what kind of scroll blades are you using, and this might be straight or spiral, or if there's a brand that just really near and dear to your heart.
those special V
Yeah.
bits.
Yeah, I know. I know Kyle's got the Pegasus, which is a beautiful tool, which I don't have, and I would love to have as well. But in terms of blades, I use pretty much exclusively modified geometry blades from Bearwood Supply. I use number 5, 7, and 9. Pretty much are the 3 sizes I use.
Very cool. All right, Bernie, let me cue one of these bad Larrys up for you. I'm not 100% sure who Crafts with Dre is, but she's asking some tricky questions this evening.
All right. Well,
Dre's awesome. You can all follow her.
nice. So she's asking, who's your favorite epoxy artist, if you have one, man?
I think the answer to that is Dre. So
Well, there
yeah.
you go. I mean, I figured that's what you would say, but I mean, that was a softball question, dude.
Yeah.
So, well, since that was a softball question, I got something else. So, you have your, since I'm not going to say it on here, your F COVID sign up there. We all know that that's super popular. That reel's out there. You've made T-shirts and some other things. Is that just something you're like, screw it, I'm going to put this on a shirt, I'm going to do a sign? What was the, I guess, the impetus to that whole process?
So I made that sign for myself.
Okay.
Really,
The frustration.
yeah, and during the heart of COVID lockdowns here in Ontario, and it's one of those things where like it's F COVID like all around, right? Like I know it's a pretty polarizing subject in society these days, and I think that term apply no matter what you think about COVID. You can agree with that statement, I think.
100%, dude. Yep.
It's divided people. It's it's affected people in so many different ways. Physically, mentally, financially, emotionally. So that was my way of dealing with some of the frustration I was feeling at the time. And you can see it. It's visible right now over my shoulder. It's visible in a lot of my reels, and I get comments on it all the time. And someone told me you should make a shirt with that on it. So I said, sure, okay, and I did.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet.
All right.
Very cool.
Yeah. So I'm very curious on, so with your profession and the line of work you do tied in with your family, tied in with your woodworking, how does all that affect what you do as a maker? How do you balance all that?
It's a struggle, that's for sure. I would love to have more time out here in the shop than I do. I have 3 kids as well, so my wife is very understanding and she supports me 100%. So I couldn't do it without that support, obviously.
Right.
But yeah, so in terms of like my profession as a police officer, it's I've been doing it for 16 years. I currently specialize in investigating sex crimes. So that takes a toll on someone, right? It definitely takes a toll on me. So my woodworking and my sign business is my therapy a lot of the time, right? Like I come out into the shop to unwind, de-stress, and kind of refocus, right? So it's, as much as it's a side hustle and it's a business, it's also it's therapy too.
Yep. I think it's probably therapy for a lot of us. I mean,
yeah.
I'm sure Ed's probably in the same boat. You get a stressful day at freaking work or you work 24, 48-hour shift, it's like, I just need to go do something. And woodworking definitely is that for me. I'm sure it is for all of you guys. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely for me. Yeah, it's just a time where you can have a lot more control in your environment and focus on a task at hand. And the biggest thing is like with a lot of jobs, you don't have that instant gratification of I built something, look at this, wow. You know what I mean? So you go to work and you're stuck doing whatever it is that you do at work. You're doing paperwork, you're investigating in different stuff. I'm a tanker, so it's random what the heck I do.
Yeah.
You know, but there's never any gratification at the end of the day to say, oh, I accomplished this and I can look at it, I could touch it. Woodworking just, it just fills that for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it's the focus. I do mostly wood turning. I don't know if you cruised through my page or not.
Oh yeah.
So for me, I have to pay a lot of attention to the way that I present a ridiculously sharp piece of steel to a piece of wood traveling at 60, 70 miles an hour. And that allows me to think about only that, which is really, really nice. That's the release that I get is I can have music playing in the background, but it doesn't really matter what it is because I'm only barely listening to it anyway. But yeah, that focus, that being in the moment, I don't know, I guess if I was a musician, it would be part of the jam or the groove, like I think that's what a lot of us all actively seek for that release, to just, find the groove, be in the moment and feel that, which is way better than as a police officer. I don't know, you never get to see people on their best days. And that
I wouldn't say never. Not never, but not usually.
Not often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I got a good lathe story for you though.
Ooh.
You just reminded me. So I don't turn. I would love to. It's definitely something I'd like to try. But one of my cousins is a woodworker as well, and he got a new lathe last year, and he was messing around with it. And he told me about it, and I knew he was practicing turning some stuff. And then all of a sudden one morning I wake up and I've got a video from him, and it's him at the hospital in the bathroom. And he's filming himself in the mirror doing this, and he's got about a 2 centimeter, I don't know how Canadian centimeters, an inch gash on his forehead where you can see his skull. And he's moving it, the open wound, and you can see the skull in his forehead. And he was turning something on the lathe, and it broke free, and he wasn't wearing a face mask like an idiot, and took it in the forehead.
Damn.
So
that's crazy.
That was a good one.
No, when I first started, I actually wore a scooter helmet, like a full DOT motorcycle helmet. And the thing is I had friends and peers who laughed at me at the time. But I got really into turning spalted wood, which can be a little unpredictable and punky. I've had at least 2 different pieces when I first started explode on me at high speed and ricochet off that helmet. And I was glad I wore khakis that day.
That's crazy.
And not your yoga pants?
Well, I gotta get my TikTok leggings for the reels, but yeah, we'll be in good shape then. Kyle Brewer wants to know if a taco is a sandwich. Actually, I think it's is a hot dog a sandwich or a taco, Kyle?
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be.
Is a hot dog a sandwich is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, is a hot dog a sandwich or a taco?
Or a taco, yeah.
Exactly. So what is it?
I'm going with sandwich.
Yes. I'm on board with it's a sandwich.
A taco is a taco. Like there's nothing like a taco.
Yep.
Hot dogs are like a taco.
No. It's not thin, it's thick bread, just like a sandwich.
I'm just saying, step on the bun, put the meat inside, lettuce, cheese. That is, cased meat taco, which is a sentence I wasn't expecting to say today. I don't know if I'm going to defend that. I believe the follow-up question on that one is, do you own any woodpecker's tools?
Oh, jeez.
And are they worth the money?
Jesus.
No, I do not have any of the red tools, so I can't answer that. I plead the fifth.
Bravo. The best answer
Very
yet.
cool. Okay, so we have grilled you left and right about scroll sawing, about CNC, about Canada. We haven't asked you about Kijiji yet, but I'm going to sort of slide all of that off to the side a little bit. Why don't you take like 5 minutes and tell us a little bit about your family?
Sure. I have a wife and 3 girls. So,
Oh, 3 girls.
Yeah. So I'm totally outnumbered.
Mm-hmm.
My oldest is 11, and then I have a 9-year-old and a 4-year-old. So I'm very busy. The older 2 are into sports quite a bit. My oldest one's into softball, which makes me incredibly happy because I'm a huge baseball fan.
Nice.
My middle one just started playing soccer this summer, and which makes me incredibly disappointed because I absolutely despise soccer. So, and they both had one had a game and one had practice tonight. So somehow I drew the short straw and I had to take my middle daughter to soccer practice. So I don't know how that happened, but this is my life now. I'm a soccer dad, and I never thought I'd say that, but
That's funny.
yeah.
What does your wife do for a living?
My wife works at a hospital.
Okay.
So yeah, she's a manager in one of their non-clinical departments there. So you know, we've been busy over the last 2 years during COVID, that's for sure.
So you know Kyle is crying now, right? When you said you despise soccer, Kyle is a huge soccer fan.
Yeah, I hate it.
Like, it's a good thing he's not hosting, because he may have just kicked you out for saying that, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
I think just from this, somebody's going to order a soccer sign from you.
Oh, man, that would be awesome.
Kyle's going to make you scroll out a Man United.
He's already got one. Sam already made him one, so he's good.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm a huge baseball fan, but being from Toronto, I don't like the Blue Jays, and I'm actually a Red Sox fan. But I just took an order for a Blue Jays sign to do for someone.
Nice.
It pained me to say yes, but I'm doing it.
You managed to acquire one of the 30 Blue Jays fans left, and they ordered a sign from you. That's impressive marketing right there, bro.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot
really
of
curious where you sneak in like the Red Sox somewhere in there, like.
Yeah.
He's gonna brand it on the backside. That'd be amazing.
It's like the story when the new Yankee Stadium was being built. One of the construction workers was a Red Sox fan, and he buried a David Ortiz jersey in the outfield somewhere.
Yep.
So yeah, I might have to do something like that for the sign.
There you go.
should. That would be awesome.
So STLFE wants to know if RoboCop is the best movie ever or the best piece of art you've ever witnessed.
Oh my God!
Wow.
I watched. I was listening to Sam's live last week, and I heard a bit of the RoboCop discussion in there, and I was very entertained. And RoboCop is one of the top 3 greatest movies of all time. So yeah, I'm with you on that.
Top 3? Wow,
This man knows what he's talking about. Look, not only is it a movie that has everything for everyone, but if you squint and don't think too much, it's also like a post-apocalyptic retelling of the Passion of the Christ, which is why in our household we watch RoboCop on Easter.
Wow. That is the most poetic description of RoboCop.
Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But, okay. Anyway,
that's what,
good answer.
Die Hard's a Christmas movie, and RoboCop's an Easter movie. I get it. I'm with you.
Yeah. Gremlins is a Christmas movie also, if you want to get scientific about it.
Fair enough.
That's legit.
Yeah.
Indeed, man. No, there wouldn't be Gremlins if there wasn't Christmas. Just think about that.
Absolutely true.
That is absolutely true, unfortunately.
Okay, looks like we are all caught up on questions from the audience. It's about 1:45. I suppose you guys want to do a lap of this or that just to sort of put BA on his toes?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so I'm going to ask in the name of Rai the Wood Guy, hand tools or power tools, bud?
Power tools.
Very cool.
All right.
Bernie, what you got?
All right. Home Depot or Lowe's?
Ooh, so I don't know if Canadian Home Depots and Lowe's are different than American ones, but
No.
Home Depot for building material, Lowe's for tools and design elements.
Good
It's
answer.
interesting. I actually go the other way around. That's weird.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, that's weird.
All right, Ed.
Let's say Milwaukee or DeWalt.
I've never been a big Milwaukee fan, so I'm gonna go with DeWalt.
All right.
Cats or dogs?
Dog.
All right. Walnut or maple?
Ooh,
Yeah, right?
that's a tough one. I'm gonna have a write-in vote and say spalted maple.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. That's a good one. That's a great one, actually.
Woodcraft or Rockler?
Canadians have neither, so I can't answer that.
What?
Oh man.
I did
Okay,
not
Canadian
know that.
Tire or Princess Auto?
Canadian Tire, 100%. They're both good, but Canadian Tire. It's my favorite store.
Cool. Tech Dogs wants to know if you've used the new Flex tools from Lowe's or played around with them when you had a visit.
Never heard of them, so no.
Cool. Guess not.
I haven't touched any of those either.
Nope. I've seen them and they look good, but I've not been able to get my hands on any of them. So,
Yeah.
Lowe's, if you're watching, maybe send some our way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ed needs Flex 40-volt tools or whatever the heck they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
All of his tools are still brushed. Ugh, get out of the Stone Age.
Brushed and green.
Jeez. All right. Let's see here. How about this? Pizza or tacos?
Pizza. It's my favorite food.
Really? What type of pizza?
Any type. That's what's great about pizza is you can eat pizza every day of the week. And it's always
Pineapples or
different.
no pineapple?
Bingo. That's what I was going to ask. Controversial topic.
There are two types of people in this world. People who think pineapple belong on pizza and people who are wrong.
Which one are you? No, I'm kidding.
I am right.
I
Pineapple.
love pineapple on pizza. It is amazing.
It's the greatest.
Yeah, I
It's
love
amazing.
pineapple on pizza. It's the best.
Amazing.
Pineapple, jalapenos, and pepperoni. Best pizza on planet Earth.
TJ, you okay over there? You look disgusted right now.
I'm trying to formulate a response, and while I can respect all of your decisions, I'm not sure what happened in your childhood that broke your mouth and sense of taste. But I forgive you. I forgive you, and if you ordered a pizza and it had pineapple on it, I would eat it because pizza is delicious.
It is.
Agreed.
All right. Let's see. Oh, well, we already asked the Rockler, the Milwaukee question, hand tools. Jesus, I don't even know what else. How about I look at Kyle, you had mentioned earlier RoboCop is the top 3 best movies. What are the other 2?
It's tough. You know what? I honestly don't think I can answer that.
Okay, fair enough.
Because nothing is better than RoboCop. You're right. Good answer.
It's up there. It's up there, that's for sure.
Very cool. Ed, what you got?
I don't really have any of this for that, but I do have a question. And I know we're a little outside of that, but that's okay. So
it's all good, man.
you do a lot of signs. What is next for you? What do you want to do? Where do you see the future bringing you? Furniture, tables, like what is it? Curious.
Right now, I have every intention of staying in the sign world.
Okay.
But I do kind of want to expand what I do. Since I've started sign making using a lot of MDF, I haven't really been dealing with a lot of hardwood in the last couple of years. So I want to start bringing some hardwoods back into my sign work and kind of messing with that. One of the reasons I haven't is because my joiner needs new knives, and I just haven't bothered getting around to replacing them. But I have a wood rack full of some oak and some walnut up there that I really need to mill down and turn into some signs. So incorporating that back into my sign work is kind of what I want to do over the next little bit.
Gotcha. What kind of joiner you got?
It's a Craftex, so I said we don't have Rockler or Woodcraft, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the big Canadian woodworking companies is called Busy Bee Tools, and
Okay.
it's one of their brands.
Gotcha.
Okay,
I
so
see
that's
a
like
lot
an
of-
in-house.
Go ahead.
Sorry, it looks like Bernie's buffering down there. And
Yeah. he's
way,
got the
way to go,
server
Bernie!
down.
You broke your internet. So-
I see a lot of King Ranch or King, what is it? King something?
King Power, I think it's King. Yeah.
Yeah, I see a lot of that from from Dusty Lumber Co. and stuff. Especially lately, he's been getting a lot of new stuff. I'm super curious in that tool line, but it seems very Canadian specific.
I don't know if it is Canadian specific or not. Yeah, I have my drill press right there is King, and
Okay.
my bandsaw's a King as well.
Oh, nice. You're back.
Bernie's back.
Sorry about that, guys.
That would have been hilarious if you came back in a new outfit.
Somebody must have been
You're
watching
like done like a
the
full
reels.
Superman, just like
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
ass
I'm
on his
buffering.
back.
I'll change real quick.
Well, I mean, half my reels, I mean, I fall down and I come up with another freaking shirt on or something. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, it fits.
yeah, right. All
Do
right.
you have any
Well,
sponsors?
yeah.
Do I have any sponsors? I don't have any. I wouldn't say I have any sponsors. I do. I just have started recently working with some brands. The biggest one is CEC Corp. There,
Nice.
they're they produce like CA glues and epoxies and stuff. They're big. They're really big in they're a Canadian company, and they're really big in the knife making space. That's where they kind of really started coming up. But they've really started to focus on sign makers and woodworking. And yeah, they're a great company to work with.
Nice.
Nice.
All right. I saw this question pop up, and I'm curious if you could only choose one for the rest of your life, coffee or beer. That's tough.
That's tough. I might die. I'm gonna say I love beer. I'm a big beer fan, but I'm gonna say coffee because I cannot live without coffee.
Yeah, I'd say the exact same thing, dude.
Yeah. I don't drink, so it'd be coffee for me.
There you go.
Yeah.
I own a brewery. I choose coffee, and we make great beer.
Dang, dude.
I'm also a home
coffee
brewer,
is
but
necessary. Like it's a moral imperative in the morning. I got 2 kids under 4. Coffee.
Yeah. What's your favorite beer?
That's tough. I like all beers. I love IPAs, but I'm also a huge fan of like German lagers too. So I don't discriminate against beers. I don't like sours. I will say that I'm not a sour fan.
Not many people do.
Yeah.
Come to my brewery. Try my sours. They are better than you think.
All right.
Are
there
they?
we
Are
go.
they? How are they soured? Are they kettle soured, or what are we doing here?
Most of them are open fermentation, so it's fine.
Nice.
Do you have a cool ship? Like, what do you?
Oh no, I don't make the beer. I just hang out with the guys. But yeah, so we've got one right now that's on tap. I don't want to steal the conversation here. It's strawberry rhubarb sour. It's called Strawberry Rhubarb Hop Tart. It's from a series of hop tart beers that we do. That is awesome. It tastes like pie instead of apple cider vinegar, which is, a good thing.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah. So if we think the future is going to be getting back into hardwoods, right, is one of the reasons why you are doing your CNC setup over there for maybe flattening and slab work and stuff like that? Is a router sled in your future? What are you thinking?
I thought about that. Yeah. Yeah. I could see that in my future. One of the things that I do want to get reasonably soon is, so I said I have the long mill CNC. So just like Onefinity recently did, long mill actually just developed a 48-inch extension rail to expand the capacity. So I do plan on getting that for my CNC as well.
What's your
go
cut
bigger.
size on it right now?
30 by 30.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Nice.
my Onefinity woodworker is a 32 and a quarter by 32 and a quarter. Have you
Yeah.
learned? Have you started doing any kind of tiling or anything like that yet?
I did it once. I haven't found a need for it in most of the work I do now.
Uh-huh.
But I definitely have the capability. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
because
had one
I
that had
just
like
learned that.
What was that?
No, I was saying that you had a sign that looked like it had a polo horse or a pony or something on it. It was your look at this
Yeah.
reel that you did
Would you look at this?
recently. Yeah, look
Yeah.
at that.
That one was actually scrolled. That I scroll saw that one.
Oh,
Really,
Okay.
like
wow.
even your little squares on the checkerboard and stuff.
No, the squares I cut on the table saw.
Okay, I was going to say,
That
gee,
would have been
Louise, you're a machine.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
exactly.
That was a lot of squares, and I could have done the math to calculate exactly how many I needed, but I thought, screw it, like I'll need approximately this much, and I overshot by about a third, so I still have a bunch of squares lying around, but I'll find
That's
a reason
funny.
to use them at some point.
I'm sure you will.
Use them for something eventually. So I know we're getting close to the end. I do want to ask you one question. What's your favorite reel that you've made, like personally, not like what's had the best views or whatnot, but something that you are proud of?
Oh, that's a tough one. There was one I did a while back that has two of my daughters in it,
Okay.
where I was like sweeping the shop and they caught me dancing, and that one didn't get a lot of love, but I thought it was funny. So, but
That's usually how it ends up. You make a reel and it
yeah,
gets like 2,000 or 3,000 views, but it's your favorite one. So
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Are you editing and creating all of your reels within Instagram, or are you using an external piece of
question.
software?
All the voiceover ones I do, which is the majority of them, I do directly in Instagram.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What's your one sign or anything that you've made in the past that you are the most proud of that means the most to you?
Nice.
Those are probably, I guess, different answers. The one that means the most to me is the first one I made for my wife, because that's kind of where it started.
Okay.
One of my favorite ones was it was one I did actually about a year ago, because it was a Father's Day gift for a client.
Mhm.
And it's, I don't, there's nothing really special about it, but I really loved how it turned out. It's good. If you look back on my feed about a year ago, it's Layman's Bar. It's like for a home bar.
Mhm.
And it's just their family name with the two deer antler on it. And I really
Okay.
loved how that sign turned out. And that was probably one of the first sign that I made. And I thought, yeah, I can really make a business out of this. So
Nice.
I'm proud of it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's definitely not the most complex or most like the best sign I've ever made, but it means
Yeah.
something to me.
Yeah. That's all that matters.
All right. You've got 3 minutes left of the show before Instagram potentially kicks us out unwillingly.
Yep.
Give us some motivation. Tell us why we should get out of bed tomorrow, why we should open our shop doors and cover ourselves in sawdust. What you got, man?
That's putting me on the spot, man. But honestly, like just like what we said before, right? Like this, for a lot of us, woodworking is therapy, right? Like it's just, like I said, where my name comes from, right? Like you can set goals for yourself, and the biggest thing for anyone just starting out, whether it's woodworking or Instagram or building a small business, is just starting, right? Like get out there, try something new. Like I said, I started just randomly finding a scroll saw, and I thought, hell, let me try this thing, and look where it's taken me, right? Like so, if you don't try, you're never gonna know, right? Fear holds us back. I try to live my life not with fear and without that attitude, right? It's just I might fail, I may make a fool of myself. I do it all the time, but I'm gonna try, right? So anyone that is thinking about starting a woodworking business or a side hustle, do it. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I'm always happy to help. When I first started in this game, a lot of amazing makers helped me, and I'll always be willing to pay that favor back, right? So this community is amazing, right? Like you meet such amazing people. Never once have I ever felt put down by anyone or felt like I wasn't part of this community, right? It's so welcoming, and you meet some amazing people out here.
Man, that's excellent.
That's awesome.
Yeah. No, sorry, that makes my heart swell to the size of 10 TJs plus 2, man. That's what it's all about. Dude, I really appreciate you coming on and chatting us up. I think Bernie's lost his internet again. He might try to jump back in here.
Yeah.
But he's good people, and I'm sure he would say something like, dude, awesome having you on. Ed, was there anything that you'd like to share with the rest of the class?
Yeah, I just can't wait to see what else you bring, to Instagram and to the community and stuff. And I very much look forward to it. I saw a couple people asking on here about the St. Louis meetup for Kyle and stuff. Kyle and I will talk a little bit more, and we'll get some more information for you guys maybe for the next show, and we'll put out a little bit more about all that. But man, it was great to meet you, Brian, for real.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. It was super fun hanging out. Like I said, this is a great community. It's great meeting new makers and people that share that same passion, right? So I know Kyle he was here, and I see him commenting, and Kyle's a big proponent, I think, of that, of promoting this community, and it's amazing. So thanks, guys.
All right, boys and girls.
Oh, there
Bernie.
he is.
Sorry,
Bernie.
guys. Internet was super sketch the last couple minutes tonight, but man, it was great talking to you, dude. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I get motivated by your videos and what you're doing out there, so keep it up.
Thanks, guys.
All right, boys and girls. I believe that's going to conclude our show. We will see you guys and girls next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. If Kyle were here, he would start fist bumping the camera.
Yep.
We'll see you guys soon, okay?
See y'all
Thanks.
next week.
Cheers, guys.